So this is Boxer,
Hey.
and here we are at the Slabs. So tell me a little bit about yourself, bro, and all that.
I was born October 4th, 1991 in Pennsylvania. I have a mother, a father, and an older brother. All right, let me think. I lived in Pennsylvania until I was 18. And then I moved to New York to go to school at the School of Visual Arts. Studied fine art with a focus in photography. I worked in a photo studio, which got me into the Burning Man scene, which sort of got me into the performing arts. Let me think. Like the performing arts, performance art, I guess. Experimental art. What's the word I'm thinking of?
And you also tell me you did some set building at one point.
Yeah, I did set design for the past 5.5 years, 5 years, for a guy named Sean Patrick Anderson. We did sets for Entertainment Weekly, Oprah, Vanity Fair, Hollywood Reporter, countless other guys.
Wow.
Nike, New Balance one time.
You did that up until when?
3 months ago.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I came right here.
So what happened 3 months ago that had you shift like that?
You know, I felt super unsatisfied with what I was doing. Set design is kind of, you know, there's a lot of post work, so you kind of end up making a lot of mediocre stuff and a bunch of mediocre art, basically. And you don't really feel good at the end of the day after you do it for a while. I mean, sure, you make money. I didn't make great money. My boss probably made great money. I didn't make great money, but it was fun, and I worked with friends, but, you know, I was just starting to feel super unsatisfied. My quality of work dropped. My attitude dropped. I was unhappy living where I was living and the things I was doing. I wasn't really making as much art for myself, which was a pretty big problem. The creative release, you know, is super important. So one day I was super fed up and I booked a flight for San Diego, and what had happened the fall before that, a few months before, I met John, House Truck John, in Washington State. I was hitchhiking from Nevada, Burning Man, up to Washington, and then from Tonasket, which is eastern Washington and western Washington. Anyway, I ran into John at a performing arts festival called Shebang. They're all circus performers, and John painted all the signs for the festival, and I saw his truck and we started talking. We ended up spending a couple days together, and then he told me to come to Slab City, and that was in September, last September. And then back to New York City, flash forward a couple months, fed up with work. I just got done work one day, went right to the computer, got a ticket for San Diego for $168. Yeah. I just picked any day. I found the cheapest ticket because I was just so fed up.
So you just quit work and...
Yeah, I bought this ticket. I didn't tell my boss for a while. We were really good friends, but the relationship was fucking soured hard. It got sort of verbally abusive. You know, he was a heavy drinker, big drug user, stressed all the time, and that attitude was totally reflected back at me, and I found myself in like a similar pitfall. And that's when I realized that negativity and stress is super contagious. You know, if you surround yourself with that, it was just, man, I was anxious all the time and just not healthy mentally. Not as, I wasn't running at 100. So
you booked a flight to San Diego?
Booked the flight to San Diego. I hadn't talked to John at all, and we never exchanged phone numbers, nothing of that nature. Flew into San Diego January 8th. That day I hitched a ride to Slab City, and the first place we stopped was Radio Mike's, and lo and behold, there's John sitting in a chair. Yeah, first person I met, first 5 minutes.
So you're from the East Coast, right?
Yeah,
How did you hear about Slab City? From John?
John, yeah. Yeah, he had mentioned it in my travels. He said, man, because I sort of told him the things I was into, you know, set design, construction, Burning Man, you know, freedom, and he immediately thought of Slab City, and he did a Germany Peter imitation. Yeah, which is pretty cool. Yeah, so I ran with it, trusted him, and turned out to be one of the best decisions I've ever made.
So you've been here how long now?
Since January 8th, so 2.5 months. Yeah, going on 3 months.
And how's it been for you?
Man, yeah, great. Healing, educational, yoga. Hanging out with John, man, he really built up our character. Yeah. Really brought out the honesty, you know, and sort of taught us to dig deeper. He was kind of like a
mentor. Huh?
Oh yeah, yeah, very much so. I was a totally different person I mean, not totally different, but I was a different person 3 months ago. You know,
really? So you feel that it's changed you?
Yeah, I feel like I can sort of block out some noise, a lot of, you know, too much things going on at once. I can sort of hone in, be more honest to myself, realize, you know, what I need, what's good for other people, you know, more respect, thinking more consciously of others and how you affect others. You know, these are all things that I had thought that I understood before, but hanging out with John, man, was like a crash course. Yeah, and then being here and seeing the honesty and the lack of judgment and things of that nature, which are, I had brushed up a few times, you know, in Burning Man, that idea, but 3 months of it is a totally different story, you know.
So how, what do you think how's your life gonna change when you leave here as a result of this experience?
I think I'm gonna really start going for what I would imagine myself to be successful, or my image of success. I'm gonna pursue that, I think. Well, I will, you know. I can't really see myself getting caught up in bullshit. Hope no more drugs or whiskey. Well, at least not on a big scale. Yeah, I just realized it sort of centered myself and sort of realigned. I got back on my path. I think I'd fallen off, and I think that when I get back out, I'll have a better idea of how to treat myself and
right on.
Yeah, and pursue what I think is going to make me successful and happy, you know, which for some people they might not really understand it, you know, living out in the desert for 3 months and, you know, using the bathroom in holes and, you know, things like that. But man, this is, yeah, more my idea of success and sort of like a deeper pursuit of what makes me me, you know, and sort of honing in on that and really tuning up that engine, you know, to get to a place where I'm confident in the things I do, the decisions I make, you know, and I'm treating people the way I'd like to be treated, which only can happen if, you know, I kind of figure out what I need, what I want, and sort of how to love myself, you know.
Right on. Is there anything else you'd like to add to this as we come to a close here?
I love my new friends. I love you, Eduardo. Thank you so much for the teachings and even for this experience, because for me to say it is sort of like, whoa, you know, to hone in on it and sort of sum up the time I've had.
Well, thank you so much for agreeing to do a video.
Yeah, thank you.
Check yourself out on YouTube soon.
Yeah.
All right. Thanks, man.
Cool.